Well, you had said something about new Batman.
Yeah,
and voice for that.
I mentioned that I worked on Beware the Batman, and I cannot say what I did on it. I cannot, and I would love to. Believe me, I would love to. But I will say this. I can't say that. I was going to tell you like what it's like and shit. I can't do that. But it's good. I can't. But I will say this. There is a tradition, unfortunately, for people that I play. But that could be me being really funny. So there you go. Man, I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay.
I'm telling everyone this right now.
Right now. Damn. I gotta say, did you guys know Mysterion is in the house? Please, Mysterion, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on. See, that makes me happy. I'm so protector. Questions, please. You're killing me here. Right here.
Do you like playing the video games which you take part in?
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I think that I suffer from, at this point, not burnout, but a bit of the jaded gamer thing where I thought I'd never be the guy because I'm in the games. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be cool to play as myself. And like last year I would have said, oh, it's awesome, and it is awesome. But I do start now focusing on just, to me, I just feel like an asshole, you know, that I'm just like going like, this was much better in that game, this I started doing stuff that, I think we're all guilty of being geeks, I'm saying that we start being hypercritical, but like when we'd be like kids, if we're bitching about it and they took the game out of our hands, we'd be like, ah! So I'd say that I still enjoy multiplayer probably in every game. People will tease me because in terms of games I've worked on, I have real gaming snob friends that they'll call me out. They'll see me on Xbox Live and I'll get a text that goes, are you playing the Godfather game? You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I'm playing Godfather II, god damn it, because I'm in it, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's cool to look at Michael Corleone be me, But yeah, no, it's always a kick, but I think that I'm finding myself being, kind of a bastard about, exactly, what most people bitch about, which is, mechanics and cinematics and all that shit. Right.
Have you been trying to like branch out in not necessarily voice acting, but just like with how you play video games? Have you been trying to like branch out to other kinds of stuff?
I find myself auditioning. All these people that have seen my panels before, I kind of take real pride in being a geek and being one of you, and that I'd be sitting there with you guys, at a Q&A for a voice actor or an actor. Just that I'm a big fan of all this universe that we dig on. And what I found is these, like the 4 conventions, the 4 ConnectiCons that I've been at, I went on record, and so did friends and fans and stuff, about what I say I want to play and what I want to do. And it's starting to kind of come around. Like, Beware the Batman's a perfect example. I started talking about how my dream projects have been like Batman. Iron, remember?
Yeah.
So yeah, you were at one of my panels like last year or the year before, and I mentioned that, and it comes around. People are just like, we saw on YouTube that you were interested in playing more bad guys. We got one right here for you. And let me see how I can do this diplomatically. I thought that I was going to play a superhero in a superhero gaming franchise. And when they brought me in, they would not read me for the superhero, but they had me read for one of the greatest villains in superhero history. And I was stoked out of my mind because a voice actor, we show up kind of like, oh, I'd love to be, Superman or Batman or Flash. And then they go, would you like to read, whatever, Bane, for example. And you go, fuck yes. And you're like, fuck yes. You find the character because you're so stoked. So yeah, it has been branching out a bit. It's not so much, Marcus! It's not so much that guy anymore. It's going to be a little more brooding. I mean, seeing as how that guy's not around anymore. Did I spoil 3?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you don't know that by now, you're at the wrong panel. The Gears of War universe is huge, man. And when it comes to Dominic Santiago, if you follow the comics and books, there's so much there. If you're a fan, you can get your fix and you know no more than you want to know about any character. I mean, there's a lot of details about the Santiago family out there in the comics and the books. But the third game, yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking. And when Mad World kicked in, I mean, that was pretty intense. Stereo! You're not gonna beat me up, are you?
No.
Or throw firecrackers at me?
Not you, I like you.
Okay, cool. It would, tell me that would have been so awesome as she was leaving. She went,
I was gonna do that, but I have time.
damn it. So, as long as the coon's not here, correct?
He is,
Is he really?
yeah, my friend. Not like in here.
Oh, not here. He's around?
Yeah, he went to
Okay. The coon. Alright, so, I am a South Park freak. Did you guys see the trailer for the South Park game?
Yes.
That is going to be, I got, this I did get in trouble for. I've got, one of my games that's coming out that I'm starring in is Brothers in Arms Furious 4.
Yeah.
It's the next Brothers in Arms game, Gearbox, and it got delayed. And I was tripping because I thought it got canceled. I thought it wasn't going to happen because that happens all the time. Just games don't happen. And it's coming out in 2013, I believe 2013, spring. And it's looking good, what I've heard, what I've seen. I play this badass Native American. For those of you who haven't seen the trailer, it's Inglourious Bastards, the game. That's what it is. And I wouldn't get in trouble for saying it. Everybody said it. It's what it is. It's, you know, killing Nazis, you know, and business is good, as they say. But Chalk is my character, and he's a Native American with a mohawk that scalps, sound familiar? Scalps his victims and so forth and so on. But where was I headed with the game thing? What was I headed to? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But no, that's the game that I was going to announce was that because some people asked me, since I talked about it last year, what happened, and it's coming out next year. And let me take another question, man. I like to know I just see a question mark right there.
Any other games that you're really looking forward to?
That was what I was getting. You got me back on track. I got in trouble because I was supposed to be promoting Brothers in Arms at the last convention I was at, and I was asked, you know, what are you excited about? And this was a totally set up, loaded question. It was for me to go, as a matter of fact, and I went, did you see the South Park game? And I just went off on this thing about every detail, like I really dug the trailer. Did you guys see anywhere, because it was fucking everywhere. Did you guys see Matt and Trey at the Xbox press conference?
Yes.
They were awesome.
It is in the history of Xbox press conferences my favorite moment, and I know that the Xbox and Microsoft people wouldn't like me saying that that's my favorite moment, but I loved how Trey goofed on Microsoft basically, how he came out and he said something like his first words, he comes out and he's like, oh shit, the South Park guys are here, and he goes, have you ever wanted to be in your car while you're making a sandwich sitting inside your refrigerator? Because everything that day was like how everything is going to work together with Connect. And I just fell out, and you can see like people going, they're funny. But I am stoked about the South Park game. That is what I'm looking forward to the most. Shooters aside, arcade games aside, you know, I'm not a huge RPG guy. I can't wait to see. They mentioned, for those of you that didn't see the conference, Matt and Trey, they've been doing South Park for as long as they have, like 20 plus years or whatever it is. And they never knew who lived closer to who. They didn't know if Butters lived next door to Cartman or if Kenny lived down the street from, you know, Stan. And they were asked, because that's what video game nerds do. You know, they go, you know, where exactly does he live? And they're like, fuck, we don't know. Greenhouse, you know what I mean? So I'm just as nerdy as that, where I'm like, you know, Stan lives next door to Kyle, you know what I mean, whatever. You know, it's exciting stuff for geeks. So. Another question? Right there.
Is there ever a point where you forget you're in a project until you re-see it or play it?
Yeah, and what happens is I'm up on my shit because I'm always looking for the cool new next thing in terms of comics, movies, and games. But it has happened where, a perfect example, today somebody brought the box cover for Command and Conquer, Tiberium Twilight, and he set it down next to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Gears 3 for me to sign. And I was like, oh, are you more of a Leo fan or more of a Dom fan? and just doing this thing. And then I was like, thanks for coming. And he's like, and he pushed Command and Conquer forward. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in that. And I was really, at the time, I was really proud of it because I did a full British character. Are there any Eddie Izzard fans here? Eddie Izzard, great stand-up comic.
Oh,
Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, no, he's a-
Eddie Izzard, Dressed to Thrill?
Just to kill.
Just to Kill, yeah, Just to Kill. In that, he talks about how all the Star Wars movies were shot in England. And he said that's why everybody on the Death Star talks like this. And he says, Lord Vader, the rebels, they're here. That is what I based my character in Command and Conquer. So, because I thought that was awesome, and the dialogue kind of lent itself to that. So if you ever play Command and Conquer 4, I believe it is, Tiberian Twilight, I think is what it's called, my character Mastodon is this tank that basically, instead of just giving and taking commands, is basically doing that. It's kind of going there, over there. They're silly and funny. So, question? Way back there.
All right, it's kind of two questions in one sort of.
Please, hit it.
But despite Judgment being based upon Bear and his story,
Next question. I'm kidding, go ahead.
will you have any involvement with it, and will there be multiplayer?
Okay. Number one, there's no way I could say if this is going to be multiplayer or not. Yeah, there's no way. If I knew, I could never say. That would, like, people, ninjas would fall from the right here, Dom would die in person. So I can't say as to the new game, but I do know this. It comes out March 2013, and it's not getting choked up. It's just my throat, and I'm not in it. I've been asked the number one question this weekend has been, are you in Gears of War Judgment? And there's a real simple answer. Cliff Blvd was asked on Twitter, and to be honest, I mean, us actors, we know a lot and we're involved, but we're still actors. We're in the totem pole of show business. We're not like producers and developers and executives, and so we kind of find out things last too, you know? And I saw the announcement and all the excitement during E3, and I was at that press conference, and I'm seeing all this excitement about this game, and people are going, are you in it? Are you in it? And you know what, really? I kind of didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Maybe it's a prequel, right? So I know the brother's still alive, right? So I'm thinking, you know, maybe, but I can't say. And so I'm being real polite. I'm just going like, can't say, and kind of being kind of coy and cute about it. And on Twitter, someone asked Cliff Blvd, are Marcus and Dom in Judgment? And he said, nope. So what I've done is literally like copied and pasted and linked straight through to his Twitter answer. I'm just like, I don't even want to talk about this. I'm like, he said nope, so it's nope. But you know, with video games, man, there's always possibilities, like Spock has said before. There's always possibilities. There's if there is a multiplayer, you never know. DLCs, you never know. I'm crossing my fingers because I want to see more Dom Santiago. And a young Dom Santiago is very exciting for me because if you remember Dom in Gears 1, he was a lot of fun. He wasn't a bummer. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm serious. Like in Gears 2, it's heavy duty shit. Gears 3, really heavy duty shit. But in the first game, he's the levity. He's the one that makes everybody laugh. And more, Barrett's a smart ass, but fuck, man, that assassin just scared the shit out of me. Your head moved. Look at the assassin back there, white. I swear to God, it was the equivalent of this. Scary shit. Effective. Well done. So you never know with video games about what's going to happen with Mr. Santiago, but I like to think that there are always possibilities, as Bob said.
If you're not in Judgment, do you still plan on playing it just to figure out the story?
Fuck that! Okay. No, I have always played the games as Dom. I've never played. It feels very unnatural. It's where I'm not being like jokey about it. It feels unnatural to be playing Gears of War and to hear my friend John's voice coming out of my player. Like it's weird, you know, and going Dom, and then I'm like, well, I'm Dom. You know what I mean? It's odd, you know. Coltrane's a lot of fun actually because Lester's a hoot in real life, so that's kind of funny. But I've always played as Dom, So I don't know that I'd be like, you know, like I can't wait to get my hands on the Baird Cole game. But at the same time, I love those characters. So I'm sure I'll play it, you know. But it's a trippy experience after 3 games and so many years now to have, you know, I mean, you guys are watching me go through it live, where people come up to me and they go, "Here's the more judgment," ah! And I'm like, But the reality is that's just me being silly. I'm excited. It's a Gears of War game, man. I'm stoked. And People Can Fly, is that the people that are working on it? Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of, again, possibilities, so I'm excited.
There's been a lot of interviews that I've seen where, like, with Nolan North, where he said that it's hard to find jobs because people want real actors that are in movies and everything. No, I mean, instead of, like, voice actors, and even him is huge in video games, but it's hard for him to get work, and they pay these actors double even if he sounds the same. Like, is it hard to find work sometimes for that?
Every facet of show business, I mean, we're talking music, movies, and now video games, that's sort of it owns everything, you know. It suffers from that movie star effect of, like, you want to attach a name, so you got a built-in audience. It's not, Cliff one time was talking about why the Gears of War movie kept getting delayed and not happening and all that. And he said, you know, when you know how show business really works, it's kind of depressing how, you know, you're trying to make a really great movie, and you think, you know, that guy would be great as Marcus, or that would be awesome to have her as Anya, this and that, and then the studio says, no, because if a movie star, that anything he touches, if Brad Pitt says, I want to be Marcus Phoenix, that movie will get in the fast track, you know what I mean? And all of us kind of go, oh, you know, all right, or, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? And the reality is that it's a business, and all these factors play into it. So with voiceover, yeah, I mean, I worked with Nolan, I worked on the Uncharted franchise, and you know, he and I worked together, and we've talked about it where no matter how well known we are in video games or in animation or anything else, I mean, he's done the motion capture for Drake, you know, I mean, he's the guy, and all they do is toss bandy about Mark Wahlberg as Drake. They bandy about, I mean, that's for real, that's a real consideration. And it would bug the shit out of me, you know what I mean? Like, I actually, when they were developing way back, the first stage of developing the Gears movie, it would be funny how people would ask me who I thought should play Dom. I think that's a weird fucking question to ask. I'm like, reword that, please. You know what I mean? Like, besides you, obviously. And this is like after Gears 1. So I mean, I was stoked. I was ready to rock. And when they'd say, who do you think? And then they'd start saying, you know, wrestlers and like big movie stars. I'd be like, you know what? I want the movie to get made. But yeah, I mean, we put our heart and soul into this, and it'd be nice to be considered in that way with games and anything else that we are also marquee names. We all fantasize about, you know, the Scooby-Doo game with my name above title. You know what I mean? Like we all want that marquee recognition, and Nolan is definitely guilty of that. But I mean, that's actors, man. We want to be recognized for what we do, but there's always going to be somebody that says, yeah, but if Russell Crowe wants to do it, it's his. And you go, fuck, really? You know? Gladiator, really? So, I hope that answers your question. That fucking question mark is cracking me up. I'm in a whole other universe than you guys over here. I'm talking and I'm seeing like this thing going on. Like this. And what it looks like, I swear to God, it's bouncing around like it should, but it looks like no matter what I'm saying, you're going like this. Yeah, fucking actors. So are any of you guys going to the dance tomorrow night?
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah. I am DJing tomorrow night from midnight to 1, and it is the set that I prepared 2 years ago. I DJed here for half an hour, and I prepared an hour set for PAX in Boston a few months ago, and the show got canceled. And so what that meant to me, it sucked, is that I ended up with an hour set that I prepared for 4 months with visuals from Assassin's Creed and Gears of War and all kinds of stuff to go with the music, like if they were edited and cut for the set, and I just got to enjoy it in my house, you know, as opposed to 1,000 people or whatever it was supposed to be. So I'm encouraging that assassin back there to shake his ass tomorrow night, and any other assassins and cosplayers, please please come and show up because it should be fun. It's an hour of trance music. What I always say, because I warn everybody, I never want to disappoint anybody because the dance is fun. I mean, I hang out, and you know, any place that is still busting out the glow sticks is okay by me. You know? And believe me, it's not happening all over the country. That's a Hartford thing. And when the music is usually like at 180 beats per minute, so Friday and Saturday, I mean, those of you that have been there, it's like this. That's really fucking fast. You know what I mean? Mine is about, which isn't that bad. It's like halftime of that. It's 140. And so it's danceable, it's fun. I'm not apologizing, it's just that it's trance. It's not like psychotrance. Right? So it should be good. And I also brought about 5 or 6 t-shirts that I only had made for ConnectiCon that say I am what I play. And I'm going to be throwing them out. So, show up, man. Yeah, they're Godfather t-shirts. It's weird to say Godfather by yourself. I don't do that. Actually, here's don't tell anybody. We have to write our own bios sometimes for conventions and stuff. So like you notice that the bios in the ConnectiCon program are really small. And some are kind of longer and stuff. Like my friend Rachel's is long because she just gave a bio from something else. And we all tease each other because we talk about ourselves in a very flattering light. So, and it cracks me up like how far some people will go. Like I'll say, you know, you can also see him here. And I'm talking about myself, you know what I mean? And other people say, his talents include. And shit like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to say, you know, there will be Godfather t-shirts, but it's what it is. I had them made for the website that will be up next year. It's a music website for my DJ shit and touring. And you guys get them first because I love you guys. Questions. Great.
Are you in the third Assassin's Creed at all?
That, and I say this, I'm going to do this perfectly on record. I cannot say, but I would scour the internet for rumors.
Does that mean you're
That sounded an awful lot like a yes.
You have a big stock for exclusive Etsy that's already in play?
I want those things. That's the geek part of me, and part and a prop and toy collector. Those are badass. Somebody from GameStop showed them to me at something recent. It was at fucking E3, and they're amazing. They are amazing. It's not like toys. It's like they're really nice. For a GameStop exclusive, they're badass. They work and they go weak. So and they make that noise. But I want those. Fucking Mysterians. I keep going like this because I feel like you're going over here, Dick.
We're taking reserves on your envelopes if you want one.
Really?
Yeah, they're taking, I reserved
$5
mine.
down towards it, it comes
Yeah,
off price.
you get one of them?
We'll sort that out before I leave town. Yeah. Show. Yeah, man, questions. How much time? Where are we time-wise? It's what?
Half an hour.
Like half an hour left?
15 minutes.
15. Okay, 50. Cool. I was gonna say. Jesus. Right here.
I got a short, simple question. Is that an ironically pro-piracy t-shirt you're wearing?
No, it's so ironic. No, what it is that I'm such an asshole, right? This T-shirt was in the 70s. The music industry believed, not to say that I was around in the 70s, but in the 70s, they late 70s, the music industry was convinced that cassette tapes were going to ruin music. That people having cassettes and recording equipment at their house, and that they were going to ruin it. No one was ever going to buy albums again. No one's ever going to go to the music store again. Cassettes are going to be the downfall of the music industry. Clearly not. CDs, same exact story. MP3s, same exact story. Streaming, it's the never-ending story. So for a DJ like me, when I was making my first ironsuitcase.com, that's my website, to be the first t-shirts I made were these because I thought it was funny that people, you know, bitch and moan about how music is going to be stolen. And I think inevitably, music is to be shared. It's to be enjoyed and given away. And I'm the first one to say to him, you, somebody, where'd you get that? Give it to me. Email it to me. I don't go, where can I buy that? You know what I mean? Like I will if need be, because I want the song. But it's not pro-piracy, it's pro-music.
Just a quick follow-up question. You know, I know that some artists like Damien Hess, MC Frontalot, became famous because they shared their music freely and continue to do so today. And at the same time, it seems like that same law you were talking about tape cassette recording is the same law they use to prosecute cases like Napster and things like that. Would you take the same stance today as when you first printed those shirts that if it's
McCarthy hearings all of a sudden.
no, that
I'm like, I don't know, sir.
if it's your material, would you advise artists to give it away for free to expose themselves?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a musician by any stroke. I'm a DJ, but I'm also old school DJ. I do remixes with vinyl. I don't use Serato or any kind of software, no laptop. I had to schlep records from Los Angeles here, and I mix by ear, so that's sort of the musician part of it, but I've also been doing it for a few decades, so seriously. And it's something that I was doing when I was a teenager, and now it's old school, but for me it was just how to keep people dancing, and the idea of me making essentially a mixtape and people getting caught up in legal rights of who owns what and this and that. I would say inevitably things go back to the original creators. It's like the sampling argument all over again. Is sampling okay? And it's like, did you dig the song? That's inevitably what matters to me. And capitalism is alive and well in the U.S. and it's always going to be okay. And I don't think that I would get my panties in a bunch of people spreading my remixes around. And I think that if I was creating original music, I produced an album for an artist, and I found myself really wanting more people to hear the album way more than I wanted to make my investment back. So maybe I'm unusual in that respect, but go art and all that shit.
From previous discussions that I've seen you do at other panels about your excitement about playing Leo. I've gathered you're a bit of a history buff.
A bit.
What's your feeling?
McCarthy hearings again, right? A bit, sir? Yes.
Now, when they announced the setting and time period for AC3,
Stuck.
there was a huge internet controversy.
Okay.
The usual, why America?
Nerd rage.
What's your thoughts on that choice?
The deal is this. We have been playing in that world of the Animus and Desmond for some time now, and any way to bring it to the US, I think, is exciting and invigorating to the franchise. I don't think that the Assassins and how we become an assassin in that world is ever going to change or go away, or this is the last story by any stroke. This is you guys heard about the announcement of the movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Fassbender, oofa, that's awesome. That's people go, no homo? And yes, homo, total homo. The guy's fucking awesome. I'm a big fan of the guy, and okay. Are there kids in this room? I don't know. Probably.
Shame.
Shame. Yeah, so you guys saw Shame? The guy wins my vote for coolest actor ever. Do you guys see Shame? See it, it's dirty as all that get out, but it's really cool. And he's a badass. It's Magneto with his clothes off, for those of you that give a shit. Total, it's the gayest statement ever, right? But Fassbender as Desmond or the Assassins, I think, is invigorating to the franchise. And the American Revolution, I think, is a really cool setting. For a guy that has been involved in primarily violent video games, or at least labeled violent video games, I was a little off-put by the trailer with the hatchets, like, right? Like you're used to double stabbing people in the throat, but all of a sudden this guy is coming down with a hatchet, and you're like, it's a British guy, we're friends with them now. When I was in London, people were talking about the concept of the American Revolution, because there had been an art show in England and in Paris that was the art of Assassin's Creed, and it was all these artists from all over the world doing beautiful prints of their idea of the Assassin's Creed universe. So it could be like Desmond sleeping on a couch, seriously, it'd be that ridiculous, or it could be, that's where you saw pictures of the female assassin that everybody saw, that was in a dress. That's just some guy's idea. It's not anything from the company saying we're going to do that. And it became a book. And so one of the things was a native